and welcome back to Mariana Math Books. My name is Mariana and today I'm here with part 2 of my quest to find my perfect tarot travel companion. If you watched my part 1, in part 1 I told you guys that in a couple of weeks I'm going away on a trip to Scotland and Ireland with my family. It is half exciting and half sad, anxiety-inducing. And that is because of the health conditions that I have. If you watched my September video in my channel, I explained you there some of the complications that I have while traveling and why traveling often makes me sad. Especially these long travels, and in this case we're going abroad, which presents a whole bunch of other complications. So in the previous video I told you that anyway I like to take 1 or 2 decks with me when I travel. And so in part 1 what I did was I showed you a bunch of decks that were my options. Tarot decks, specifically tarot. I showed you a bunch of tarot decks that were my options for this trip. And then I told you that in part 2 I was going to job interview my decks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 3-card spread with each of them. That is going to be an job interview of like why you should come with me to the trip. So you know, like when you go on job interviews, one of the questions is, why are you the best candidate? So I'm going to ask my decks that, why are you the best candidate? Oh, just one thing. Last video I showed you a lot of decks, but after the last video I chose some finalists, and the decks that I'm going to interview are the finalists. My goal with the interviews is, well, 2 things. On one hand, I want to see how I read with them, because I'm looking for a deck that is, I guess it's called like a sharpshooter, you know, a deck that you pull the cards and you immediately get a message. You can immediately read it very easily, and it tells a good, whether you like the message or not, it's telling you something. Not like one of those decks where you pull the cards and you're like, okay, let's think about this, and it's a bit harder to interpret. So I want to see how I read with these decks. So that's like my main objective. But then also obviously, like, depending on the message that I get, that will influence my decision too. I was only going to interview tarot. I was going to choose 5 decks, 5 finalists, and then interview all 5 of tarot decks, and I was going to choose one based on that. And then depending on the deck I chose and depending on the interview, I was going to choose if I would take Oracle or not. But after I uploaded my part 1, Meg from Rose Honey Rituals, she commented that maybe I would want to take a deck that would hold the special memories of this trip. And that comment really made me think, because I was just thinking about this in terms of vibes and aesthetics and the reading quality of the decks, which are all very important for me. But I wasn't taking into consideration this aspect of whichever deck I take is going to hold the memories of this trip. That is a very special trip for many reasons that I will maybe tell you someday if it comes up in a video, but it's very special. So that immediately made me, like, I had chosen 5 finalists, and after that comment I immediately changed my approach, and I chose at first 3 finalists, but then I added one more because I can't help myself. But what I did was that I also chose oracles because depending on the type of reading, if I'm feeling especially vulnerable, I like to pull a lot of cards from different decks. And sometimes I do that with tarot, like different tarot decks. But often Oracle speaks to me in a different language. Sometimes they speak to me in a way where they hit right in the middle of my soul. And so if I'm feeling especially vulnerable, Oracle often is something that I will pull alongside with tarot because it gives me it speaks to me differently. So what I did was I chose 3 tarot families, let's say. I think I also may have taken inspiration from Moonflower Moments, from her self-soothing tarot video, because as I am saying this, I remember that she did it in the same way, where she chose families, and that's what she talked about. So what I did was I chose 3 tarot families, 3 groups, and I'm going to interview the whole set. So I'm going to first show you which were my 3 finalists, my 3 tarot families finalists. And then I'm going to interview each of the 3. I'm going to first pull 3 cards with my tarot and with the tarot, and then I'm going to add oracle to it. And that reminds me that the question that I was going to ask was also changed because I was going to ask the why are you the best candidate question. But when I chose the families, I realized that what I want to do is basically just tell them, okay, so we are, you know how, again, when you go on job interviews, sometimes they will give you a scenario and ask you, okay, how would you approach this scenario? So I'm going to give them that. Like the scenario is, maybe we returned to the Airbnb after the whole day. It's later. It's in the evening or at night, and I'm feeling particularly sad about something that happened in the day. Usually, what that would mean is that something happened where I couldn't do something that I wanted to do because of health reasons that the rest of my family could do. So, for instance, maybe we went sightseeing and there was a place I really wanted to go, but it was super difficult. The terrain was super difficult and I couldn't manage it because of balance issues. And so I prefer to stay, and I tell them, don't worry, go ahead, I'll stay here. And then so I will stay there and see them doing the thing I want to do. Or because of the dysphagia, we maybe come across like a super delicious fish and chips stand, or I don't know, like I'm using that example, and it looks delicious and I would love to try it, and we're going to sit down and just like relax, have a meal, and then keep walking. But because I have dysphagia, I can't eat through my mouth. And I'm not going to go into the whole details of that and of how sometimes in certain conditions I can try something if I don't swallow it. But in general, like if we are walking around and we come across a street food stand that has some delicious food and we think, okay, we're going to sit down for a few minutes and order something here and eat and then continue walking, then I wouldn't be able to eat. I would have to watch everyone eating this delicious foreign food that I want to eat. And I would watch everyone around me eating, my family, the people at the stand, and I wouldn't be able to do it. And so that would make me super sad. I would probably be crying. And then at night, I would be sad. So I'm not going to give the tarot decks any specifics as to which the situation was. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say, okay, the interview is okay. I'm feeling particularly sad about something that happened during the day. Go. Like, how do you approach that? As to the mechanics of how I'm going to do the readings, I am going to take inspiration from Marilyn at Tarot Clarity. I love her channel, and she does a lot of sample readings. And what she does is that she pre-shuffles the deck, but then on camera she does a couple of hand over hand, so that you know there is not a staged reading. As you know, because of my hand mobility problems, I have troubles shuffling, so what I do is the smooshing technique from Water Child Tarot, a channel I really miss, by the way. I learned that the best way to have proper randomization is either doing 7 riffle shuffles, which I can't riffle shuffle, 10,000 overhands, which no one does 10,000 overhands, or 30 seconds of smooshing around the cards. Which is the best option for me, and it's just 30 seconds, and statistically that gives you proper randomization. So that's what I did. I pre-smooshed my every deck that I'm going to use, and then after smooshing I do some hand over hand, because I feel like that randomizes the card even more on top of the smooshing. So I had some pipe music, bagpipe music while doing it, because I think the tarot soaks up that energy. So I had some bagpipes while I smooshed and shuffled. But then here I'm just going to do a few hand over hand with each leg, just a few, just so you know that it's shuffled and I didn't make this up, or I didn't stage these readings. Yeah, so I think that will be it for the explanation. So let's just go ahead and I'll show you which my 3 deck families are. So the first family is the Edoardo Dotti from Rinascimento Italiano, the Modern Mary Oracle, which you know is one of my absolute all-time favorites. It's an Etsy oracle, and you know I love my Mary decks. I love them. And then the other one is the Anatomy of Healing. Anatomy of Healing is a Kickstarter Kickstarter deck that I backed, and then like 2 weeks after I received it, the second edition was already out, and I was like, excuse me, like what? But it doesn't matter. I love it anyway. And again, you know, I love my anatomy decks because of the health stuff that I have. I love decks that are anatomy. I maybe one day I will show you my oracle decks that are anatomy related. Anyway, so this is the first family finalist. Then the next one is the Wildwood Tarot, the Whispering Woods. I think they're called inspirational cards, something like that. These mini oracles, I feel like everyone knows them. And the Tarot de Maria Celia. So in this case, we have 2 tarot and the mini oracle. And then the final one is a classic power couple. John Bauer Tarot and Into the Woods Oracle, Into the Lonely Woods Oracle. In terms of the oracles that I like, which is not this video, I don't love the big box, big card, full sentence oracles. I don't have a lot of them, and I don't get along with them, except for this one. This one is absolutely insane. It's insane. I love it so much. It's so good. And if you're feeling sad and vulnerable and lonely and like insane, just and paired with the John Bauer, okay. So I'm nervous about this interview, guys. I'm nervous. Let's just go ahead with the interviews. Okay, so let's start with family number 1 and deck tarot number 1, which is Edoardo Dotti. You guys know the question. You guys also know the question. I'm feeling particularly sad about something that happened during the day. go. What are you going to, how can you help me? What are you going to tell me? It's this scenario, go. So I'm going to do a bit of overhand, if I can, because you know this is hard for me. Okay. Okay. 3 cards. We're pulling 3 cards. Okay. And I'm going for quick and snappy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the readings. I just want to see how each deck, how each tarot approaches the situation, and how I can read each of the answers. Again, I'm going for something that I can read without having to think too much about it. And okay, so let me just, again, I'm feeling particularly sad about something that happened during the day, and what would be something that you could tell me. Okay, so do you hear that sound? It's just it's amazing. Okay, so let's cut the deck. I always leave this here, just you know, sorry, I something fell and I don't want to stop the video, because that the whole point is that it's not a staged reading. So the one that was in the bottom, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. I just like to see which it was, and it was a chariot, which is perfect for a trip, right? So let's see the 3 cards that I get. Oh my god, okay, let's see. First one, Knight of Cups. I'm telling you, this is a gentle deck. I love it so much. Okay, Knight of Cups, 2 of Cups, guys, I would literally cry if this was a trip. And the Moon, okay, oh my gosh, I am loving this. Okay, so real quick, here in the middle we have the 2 of Cups. Cups for me are, you know, in Marseille, you know that with Marseille I don't do card meanings. I do, I'm just going to go ahead and do the reading, okay? I'm not going to explain how I do it, because I will be here forever. So the Cups are feelings, family, relationships, love, and it's a gentle, soothing deck. So in terms of the gentleness of the reading, it's an extremely gentle and warm reading, right? We have 2 warm cards, Cups and Cups, and then the Moon is a bit colder, but like in combination with the 2, it is pretty gentle. And I just want to say something about the Moon that I read in the book Tarot for Change by Jessica Doré, which, if you like psychological tarot, that is amazing. And she talks about how there is a technique in psychology where the psychologists purposely confuse their patients, and I don't remember what it's called, maybe like confusion therapy, something like that. Because when you are in that confused state, it's easier to make decisions, to take action. And so she gives an example. If you are drowning, you are not consciously thinking, what is the best thing that I could do at this moment? Maybe I could grab the hand of the person next to me. There is a floating device next to me. Which would be the better option? To go with the person or to grab the floating device? If you're drowning, it's immediate, right? You grab the first thing that comes that helps you. So when you're in a confused state, it's easier to act. And so she talks about like the beauty of living in the darkness, in the moon. And so because whenever I do health readings, when I get the moon, the wheel, those types of cards, I love it so much because it's a reminder of living, learning to live within the uncertainty. And so you have the moon in the end, which is oddly comforting to me because in the end, like the final card, is like there's no answer to anything. It's like you just it's oddly comforting to get the reminder of you have a illness and that's part of life. But then here in the back you have the relationship cards. You have the Two of Cups and you have the Knight of Cups. And so to me, the cups are representing my family, right? Because I'm going to be with my family. And sometimes I can get too much in my feelings and get angry at what happens and at the differences. But this is a reminder of look towards the family. I'm going to do something that is not part of the cards, but this knight is like driving towards these two hearts, which both of them were gifted by my mom. And so I'm just like, that's why it's making me think. Okay, I'm going to stop because I don't want to be overly long with the readings. And I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards for this tarot. First, I want to do the anatomy of healing. And again, okay, so these are too big to, I think my hands are small because there are some decks that I see people doing the overhand horizontally. And I, for the life of me, can't. And I think, how are you guys doing it? Like, what? So, okay, this one is harder, but let's do a few more. I don't want to turn the cards around because I don't want to see. And I always do this weird thing where I kind of like show the oracle, the tarot reading, so that the oracle knows what the reading was and what card they want to give me. So, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And got the card, the deck. This one is Volva asking for guidance. And then the one on the top, which is the one I use for the reading. Oh my gosh, gallbladder a bit bitter, which is perfect. I would have, like, if I'm feeling like that, it's just like I'm going to put it at the end. The guidebook for this deck is actually amazing. The only thing is that it's super hard to find the page that you're looking for. So I have the gallbladder here, and it says related emotions, stored aggression, hidden pain, anger, courage, stuckness, which I mean is pretty accurate for the situation. And then gallbladder. You might not often consider your gallbladder until it becomes relevant. Its pear-shaped can be found on the right side of your abdomen below the liver. Primarily, it stores bile, which is produced by the liver until it's required for our digestion. Besides, it breaks down fats and certain vitamins. I love that at the beginning they give you a bit of information of the organ, because that's what has been missing from every anatomy deck that I have. The question is, why do we struggle to express ourselves and our needs? And what I would stay with from this is this one, the question, why do we struggle to express ourselves and our needs? I do struggle with that, not in the sense of like the emotional sense of like, oh yeah. I struggle with that in the physical sense of my illness. I don't want to be too burdensome sometimes. And it's like it's difficult to express that you need someone without something without feeling like you're being overbearing. So I would stay with that, and that is like a reminder again of family, of like, okay, so you sit with these emotions, but then ask for what you need. You have the support. And then finally, a card from my Mother Mary, which this one is smaller, so I can do horizontally. Guys, do you see how better I've gotten at overhand? I'm so proud of myself. Like, when I first started doing videos, there was like no way I could do this on camera. And now I'm slow. But look, it's just, that makes me so happy. So, let's see. And this one, oh my gosh, look, I like this one. This one is forgiveness. And it's the Our Lady of Guadalupe, who I am obsessed with, and I'm not going to go into that. So I'm going to take this one. As I said, sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't, because I love it. Forgiveness. And speaking about like anger, right? But then here, make a wish. See the forgiveness and the asking for what you need, right? Oh, this is so good. I love it so much. And I said I was going to be quick and snappy, and I've been literally like 15 minutes with this reading alone, and I have 2 more to go. So let's just end it here. I'm saying this family aced their interview. Let's see the other 2. So the next one has 2 tarot decks. I'm going to start with the Wildwood. Usually when I combine Marseille and Scenic decks, I like to first start with the Scenic, and usually I prefer a non-RWS Scenic deck, and then do the Marseille, because what Marseille does is like it helps me narrow or further specify something. So I get a message from the Scenic deck, and then I whatever the message is, that I will like further ask a more, oh god, a more specific question with the Marseille. I was just talking about being better at overhand, but I think that only applies to horizontal and smaller decks. So I will leave it at that because like okay, so just like reminder, 3 cards, and I'm feeling particularly sad about something during the day. What are you going to tell me? And here, oh, I was just talking about getting the wheel, remember? So the wheel, I'm going to put it in the back because just, and let me grab the part. Okay, so the one on top. So the 3 cards are the seer, Five of Stones, Endurance, Page of Bows, Stoat. I don't know what stoat means. So that's a fail. Page of Bows. I think bows are swords in this deck. I should have checked that beforehand. Okay, so in terms of like I'm going to be ruthless, and so I don't spend too much time here. I'm telling you, I struggle with this deck, and I got 2 of the cards that I most struggle with. So the Seer, which is the High Priestess, which is a card I struggle with anyway, and the Courts. I don't like the Courts in this deck. I don't like decks that are people decks, but then the Courts are animals. I don't. The Hidden Realms does that too, and I hate when I get, oh no, but it's the aces, so it's different. Yeah, I remember why it doesn't bother me, because it's the aces, and so it's like, oh, okay, Ace of Swords, I don't care that it's an animal there. So just like right off the bat, like the card that is giving me the message is this one, but it's not because of the card in itself, it's because it's endurance, right? So it's like, suck it up and just like continue. But to be fair, it is very gentle, you know, it is very gentle. It's like it would be these 2, like the wheel and endurance. And then I'm going to just quickly get an oracle to accompany this, but as you can see, like right away, and I talked about it in my previous video, this deck doesn't always give me great readings as much, which it makes me sad because I love it so much. Like from a aesthetic perspective, I think this is one of the decks that is the most beautiful in terms of graphic design. I mean, obviously the illustrations too, but the illustrations plus the graphic design, except for the backs, which I don't like, but I don't mind it. Like, I'm talking about the fronts of the cards. It pains me when I see someone trim this deck, because it's like, oh my god, it's the most beautifully designed deck in the entire world. The borders are perfect in this particular deck. I do have trimmed decks, but this particular one, it's like, it doesn't give off the same vibes without the borders. Moving on to the oracle. Oh no, never mind. This one, I took the marshmallow, no, the Maria Celia, and that was going to be the second deck for this family. So I'm going to pull 3 cards from the Maria Celia, and because of the card that most caught my attention from the Wildwood is the endurance, so I'm going to ask the Maria Celia to, like, based on that, like, what more specific thing would it tell me about the endurance aspect. So I love this deck so much, like having it in my hand. Yeah, anyway. So, okay. So this one, oh my god, do you see this? 2 of Cups. I love it when that happens. Did you see me overhand? Did you, like, okay, Two of Cups. I'm definitely on this one. Oh my gosh, but this doesn't count. Like, but I'm definitely leaving the Two of Cups here, because in the middle, because, like, I mean, come on, we just got the Two of Cups in the previous reading. And okay, so then okay, yeah, okay, so some obstacles, some hardships. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. I don't read reversals, but like whatever, it's the same. It's Marseille. Oh, and then this one is the valet of wands, batons, and then the Two of Coins. Okay, so I love that the Two of Cups came up, because I mean, it's pretty, like, yeah. And then this one is focusing more on the hardships aspect of it all, which makes sense based on the fact that this is endurance. So it is like reinforcing the endurance message. And then we have the Two of Coins, which coins is a gentle suit and it's a warm suit. So this is a warm result. This is like success, right? So like and then again a two. So like if we focus on the Two of Cups and the Two of Coins, it is reinforcing that bond aspect, that family aspect, that relationship aspect. So like that is, endure, and then you get a good result, and you are tightening those bonds, I guess, like focusing on those bonds. And then let's pull the oracle, which is the Whispering Woods. And what was I going to say? Okay, so the Maria Celia gave a great reading based on what I asked, right? Like, we're talking about endurance, and I'm telling it like, okay, talk about endurance. Well, here you go, a message about endurance. I would be curious what it would have said if I had just asked the question of like, I'm feeling particularly sad. What do you have to say about it? Because another option for family would be the Maria Celia and the Whispering Woods without the Wildwood. But so based on this message, how is the oracle going to complement? I don't take jumpers. I don't, because I am super clumsy and I have a hard time with my hands. And so I'm like, is it the universe or is it the brain tumor that is making my hands clumsy? So I don't take jumpers. I'm going to leave it at that because they're going to keep going all over the place. And let's cut. And this one says patience, which is a perfect word. So I'm going to put it out here, but I'm like looking at it. And the one on the top, which is the one I take for the reading, is dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. No, if I had gotten this one, I would have keep pulling cards, because I'm like, okay, sure. Like, this would make sense in term, if the question I was sad about was because of mobility issues, then this would have been a good card. Friends is better because it's about relationships. Risk, no, okay. It's not speaking to me, so I think we're going to leave it at that. I'm curious about the Maria Celia, but I'm not feeling the Wildwood, and I don't know, I don't think I'm feeling this one either. And the final one is John Bauer with the Into the Lonely Woods. So again, same thing. I'm going to do some hand over hand, and you know, I'm feeling particularly sad or vulnerable about what happened, something that happened during the day. So what would you tell me about it? And so a few of these. And okay. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to cut. Okay, come on. I love this deck so much. Okay, so here, and here we have. I love these trolls. 3 of Wands, and it's looking for something. I'm going to leave it here, out here, but you know, keep it in sight in case it's useful for the reading. That's what I do with that card. I keep it and then I either take it or I don't. And then the first one is the 5 of Swords, but this one I do more like the images, right? So it's also looking for something. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles, but I have again the images to go for. And the final one is the 10 of Cups or Coins. It doesn't make sense for it to be either Cups or Coins. I think it's Cups. Let me flip through to see my annotations. 8. This is 8 of Cups. Wait. Pentacles, Swords, Cups. I might have done a bilingual annotation. This is 10 of Swords. 5. This is 5 of Cups too, right? And this is 2 of Pentacles. I'm so dumb. So it's Pentacles, not coins. I did the P. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, no, so it is Cups because the other is Pentacles. Okay, so I'm taking this one as a reinforcement of the message of looking towards my family or my mom, and you know, if you look at this image of this girl, she is naked, and this woman, older woman, is carrying her like a coat or something to put around her. So this is actually pretty beautiful when you think about it like that. And after this one, the final one is the 10 of Cups, and so it's like this one is finally looking at the beauty that is there. You know, you have like a beautiful and if you take this girl to be the same as this one, she is now, you know, on a horse and going to better places. And here is like the confusion, the first, and the looking for something, and the not so great element. But this is reinforcing the look towards the relationships to, you know, to be better. And find the beauty and the comfort again. So again, relationships, and I swear that's the thing that the cards always tell me. Okay, so Into the Lonely Woods. This is going to be harder to shuffle on camera, I think, because the cards are so big. But again, this is just like so to show you that I am mixing the cards and that it's not a staged reading. Again, as Marilyn does it, I really like how she does that. Okay, it wasn't so hard. I love the backs on this deck. I'm just going to do a couple more. And okay, that's it, because I was about to drop the cards. So let's cut, and I love this so much. The ending that opens the space for the beginning. This deck is so beautiful. I love it so much. Okay, but then what's the one on top? Into Your Arms. Ah, look. Into Your Arms. Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay, it's just that together they speak so beautifully. Oh my god. Okay, so this would also make me cry if I was on the trip. I'm going to have to make a decision because I really like this combo, but then I also really like this combo. And I'm going to have to think about it because like on one hand I'm thinking, oh, this is the winner, but on the other hand, the John Bauer with the Lonely Woods, it just oh my god, it just touches my heart. But then on the other hand, in terms of like the, you know, taking a deck that will keep the memories of the trip, something that I think would be cool is, you know, wondering or asking myself, where am I right now? And I think that if I were to choose a tarot that would represent where I am at the moment with tarot and with life and with interest, with everything, I would have to say it would be a Marseille, Italian, historical type deck. Like I would have to take a peep in that case because that is where I currently am in terms of reading tarot, in terms of history. You guys, if you've seen my channel, you know I am super obsessed with Historathon and I'm super obsessed with everything historical. And in the trip, the thing that most excites me is the historical aspect. And I mean, having Mary with me is like, and the anatomy deck is important because most likely the things that will make me oh my gosh, look, this was totally random, but I took Breast Nourish Me. Like that's the first one that I grabbed. And you have the Into Your Arms, you have the togetherness, you have the Two of Cups that came out earlier, you have Mary here, and you have the Breast and Nourish Me. How amazing is that? But you know, the anatomical aspect is important because in terms of how the situation of how I would feel, during the trip. Most likely it would have to do with my body. Yeah, so I think this is the winner combination. I think this is the winner combination. Edoardo Dotti, Anatomy of Healing, Mother and Mary. But then this has just reminded me how much I love this combination, and that fall is coming, and that for fall I want to be working with this combo, you know? So I think for the trip, this is the winner. Yeah. And sorry, there was a plane. And that would be it for this video. I think it's long enough a series. It was super fun video to make. I think reading videos are my favorite to make in terms of tarot. I really like doing readings. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. This has been super fun and helpful. I'm super stoked with the choice that I made. And oh, something that I wanted to tell you guys is that, remember that I told you that I was worried to take this one because I don't want it to get damaged, because I have it in this like flimsy organza bag, and it's so fine and luscious and fancy. And so what I'm going to do, because obviously I'm going to take it in a sturdier bag, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in the bag of the John Bauer, because that way the Dotti will soak up the energy of the John Bauer, and it will be amazing. So I'm going to take it here, and I think the Anatomy of Healing might also fit in here. I don't know, I'll see if both fit, but it would be amazing if they just soaked up on this energy. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm stoked about it. I'm happy with my decision. I'm hungry because this always takes me longer than I think. And I will see you soonish with a bookish video, I think, because I need to do my shorty September TBR. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Have a good week. And in the meantime, happy reading.